And let's see if we could get this closet looking better. Here we go. I'm going to try to put that over there, get some poles up, get rid of some of the stupid wire racks that fell out anyway. See what we could do. When closet shelves fall and make the holes so bad, you need to stuff into the holes, then scrape. Look at all that, it's horrible. Then plaster and caulk. I'll get all that off and come back. I mean, it pains me to take off more wall than necessary, but look how much of the gap it leaves when these things come out. Those stupid wire shelves. So you have to make it flat again, because all of this flapping, if I don't scrape it off, it's just going to turn into, there we go, nice and flat. It's going to turn into a bigger problem under your walls if you paint again. Okay, nice and flat. That's what you want. And now you start filling it in and then spackling it and then coming back, scraping again. I hate that all this wall comes off, but they're like paper thin. This is not your typical drywall. This is cheap plaster over metal studs that the builder did. So I got some of them to match a little bit. We'll get some paint on there. And those are the 3 main steps. So I have the new stuff mixing here, new spackle. And I use this old dried up stuff. I know you shouldn't, but I don't like to waste. And I just put it in, I fill in the holes so that bugs and stuff don't come in. I use it for all that, and I'll fill that in with a big giant one. Look how much holes these are. So I fill that in, then take the new stuff and go over it after scraping. So then you take the new stuff and kind of spread it in there like icing a cake. And now my dad, he goes really wide on every hole. But if I don't get the exact paint match, I'm trying not to do that. He does it so smooth that it smooths out to the entire drywall. He does a great job at it. It really is an art. You gotta kind of get in your groove and start just doing it. Practice makes progress. I wouldn't say perfect, it makes progress. And you kind of go over it, and then you can use this as the scraper too. I often do that to kind of get a nice smoothness going. Now these walls are textured, so it's weird. Like, I don't want to have them too smooth, believe it or not. And also it just scrapes right off because they're junky plaster. But you just smooth them out and scrape as much of it off as you can. And we're going to go over it with paint. Hopefully it kind of blends right in. Like I said, these walls are textured, so I'm actually trying not to make it too smooth, which I'm used to doing on drywall. But it'll get there, and then we'll paint over it. I'll paint over it. Here's where I stuffed the old stuff into the holes, just to, because there's such giant gaps after scraping them, just to kind of fill it. Like I said, why waste it and throw it away? Just stuff those in the holes. I gotta undo a lot of those yet. Take out a lot of those nails and screws. But like, these holes are so giant, might as well just stuff them and then with the old stuff, and then go over it with the new stuff. It also works a little better because the old stuff's hardened. It's already expanded, kind of like marshmallowy. So you could stuff that in those and then go over it with the new spackle after that. This is kind of the final spackle result. Okay, so fixed all those holes, have more to do, and moved the white shelf to here. Now got these poles in here. 1, 2, 1, 2. And now put the wire shelf back on top of it. Made myself more of a galley style closet instead of all the way around, which was a mess. So hopefully this is helpful. I gotta go to the store and paint match some of these pieces, and then I'll have the right color paint to start filling in these holes, patching them, and then painting them. So last but not least, I went to the store and color matched the wall. You just kind of take a bit of the wall. It's easy since a bunch of it fell out. And to go to all of these, I couldn't even find a paintbrush, so we're just using this dinky spongy thing because we just need to, and because the wall's textured, it's kind of weird. So all that sanding and scraping, and now the wall's textured, so I'm kind of, where possible, making it look more textured again compared to the wall. Sometimes it makes a little twist that helps. So I kind of go through there and make the wall look more textured, and we're still gonna grab all these spots. So again, found a paint match. Didn't find a paint match, had them paint match. Typically Sherwin-Williams will do it no problem. And just kind of, because it's textured, the wall can't really go too smooth, which maybe I should have done a little more texturing. My dad said maybe try a sponge in the spackling process, but the sponge was too spongy looking. It wasn't thick enough, so gotta play around with that. This is just a closet, so I'm not too worried, but when I go to touch up different things in the house, I'll start finding a sponge or something that would look more like the texture of the wall and less smooth. This is gonna go behind clothes, so, and it typically dries darker. So let's hope that's the case. Color match isn't always perfect. Sometimes it takes a couple turns to get the color match to match. So let's hope it dries a little darker and it works. So I also, once I get a color match, tend to go around the house finding any sort of chip or flaw or mark that I can't wipe off with water or any sort of cleaner. Then I go around and one of my favorite pastimes, go around the house fixing everything with just some dabs of a paintbrush. Like I said, this textured thing's throwing me off. I'm used to regular drywall. It's okay, we'll make it work. And maybe that's a lesson to do, like my dad said, in the spackling process. But it's getting there.